So Alejandro, tell me, why would companies do promotions? Why would they be interested in this?
I mean, great question. Like, no one, would ever discount a product, right? You create products to sell them at the right price. So why would someone decrease the price? But at the end, it's a necessary evil to do promotions. There are two ways you can grow: either by growing the market or the category, or by stealing from competitors. And most times, the thing that you need to do is to overcome some barriers. And price is a big barrier most of the times. So it's necessary to really offer some good deal to someone to really, change habits, like make him come if they are not a category user, or change companies if they are buying at the competitor, right? Or other way you can think about it is, you have your current consumers and you have your new consumers, the ones that you want to capture, either because they are not in the category or they are from the competitors. How do you make those current consumers come more often, and the other ones change habits and come to us? Yeah.
So you already mentioned, right? I'm like, how can you make your existing customers come more often, and how can you steal them away from the competition? So how do we do it? How do we do it?
So if we think first of all about our current consumers, right? You have the ones that you want to increase the frequency. You have the ones that you want to increase the share of pocket or share of stomach, when you're talking about restaurants, and the ones that you want to sell a different product, upsell, sell something more expensive, yeah? And let me tell you some examples in each of them. For example, when you think about frequency, right? One of the best examples that I have in mind is cinemas, right? Imagine last Christmas, you went to the cinema to watch Star Wars, your ticket was €9, and behind the ticket you get something that says, hey, next time you come, it will be €5, the ticket. And you say, oh, great, why not? It's Christmas, I have nothing else to do. I don't feel like seeing any other movie, but there is this one here, €5 is not that much. So that way what they are doing is growing the market, yeah? They are taking away from whatever, the restaurant business or any other alternative that they have, and they are getting you once again into the cinema. Of course, it has a trick, because when you read the small font, it says, hey, only valid in the sessions before 5 p.m. So they make really sure that they don't cannibalize their main revenue, that is, cinemas on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays from 7 p.m. onwards. So this is something that we need to keep always in mind. No one will do a promotion that risks your biggest source of business, yeah? That for the cinemas is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. You can also think of the restaurant business, for example, let's say Burger King, McDonald's, right? Average meal is €6-7. Many people cannot afford to do that on a regular basis, yeah? So what they do most of the times is to create a slightly discounted meal, let's say €4, €5, so that those people that typically come 3 times per month can afford to come 4 or 5 times, which at the end you think it's just one more time per month, but at the end it's a growth of 33% or 50% in many cases, yeah? Which is the same as the restaurant in the corner does with the Menú del Día, right? Instead of having only a la carte dishes where you would spend 20-25 euros, what you do is, hey, for 12 euros, now you get to have your meal every day. So that encourages people to go instead of 2 times, 3 times, which is 50% growth rate for the business, yeah? And the other one that I mentioned is the share of pocket or share of stomach, right? And this is not about growing the category, but to stealing from competitors. Think about supermarkets, great example. Here, imagine, Martin, you spend 1,000 euros per month on groceries, right? You're not going to spend 1,200 even if it's discounted or not. So you spend 200 in one place, 500 in other, and 300 in the other supermarket, right? This supermarket is the only way they have to really grow is to steal from each other, yeah? And what are the promotions, the mechanics, the tactics they use? Think about Corte Inglés, right? What they do is you go there and you see something that says, hey, spend 30 euros and in your next purchase, you will get a discount of 5 euros. And you said, great, you were planning to spend 20 euros, now you spend 30 euros, so the average check goes up, and on top, you have an incentive to go back to Corte Inglés on your next purchase instead of going to the closest to your home, to the most convenient, right? So it's a great mechanic from those points of view. Also, think also with the share of the pocket, think at the beginning of the month, you will see lots of volume promotions in the supermarkets. Buy 2, get 3, buy 3, get 4. Why is this? Because they want to take advantage of the moment that you have cash in your pocket, which is just after the paycheck, so that you spend the most possible in their place and you don't keep any money to spend in other places, right? So that's a great technique that they use also to really increase the share of the pocket. And the last one that I mentioned, I believe, was trial, right? Like get people to try your new products so that you can upsell them. They're typically more expensive. So think about, let's say, Burger King, McDonald's, yeah? They launch a new burger that is €8 a meal instead of the 6 that regularly costs something. there is a big barrier of trial there, because when you go to one of these places, you spend your €6, you will get a burger you like, you love. And they tell you, hey, spend €8 and you will get a burger you don't know if you will like. So it's a big investment, a big commitment that you have when you, at the end, spend that money. So one way that you could lower that barrier for trial is say, hey, for 2 days, just 2 days, people, I'll give you this burger at €3, just the burger, not the meal. So that, you don't get it to cannibalize other things and people can add it on top, etc. And you reduce a lot the barrier for trial. So it's a great technique they use. Also, let's think about the cereal business, right? Cereal is a great habit. You go there, you buy always your same cereal. This is the cornflakes, let's say. And breaking that habit is a torture for the family. Hey, mommy, where are the cereals that I like? So you're not going to spend €4 or €5 in a big box of a new cereal that you don't know if you're going to like. So what do they do many times? They create a small box of €1, that say, hey, try our new cereal, only €1, small box. And the cost is €1, it's nothing. If you don't like it, you probably don't have any more to eat, even if you won't like it. So it's a great thing they do. And by the way, just check the unitary price of those boxes. It's actually higher than the unitary price of the €4 box. So at the end, you make a lot of money on those. It's not that the company is losing money. And the last example that I want to mention here is imagine a company like Netflix that now is getting into Spain. What they've done is they said, first month, free. First month is on us. So what they are doing, they are lowering a lot the barrier to entry. So, if you were thinking, should I sign for Netflix or not, it's €10. €10 is not a lot, but for many people, it's a stopper. So what they say, hey, we give you the first month for free. And you say, okay, why not? I'll try, I'll watch like 30 movies, and then if I like it, I will stay. And the best thing about that is that they are playing also the reciprocity game, right? They give you something for free at the beginning, and then you feel bad if you don't give them something free that is your money, right? So it's a really good promotion mechanic that they are using there, yeah?
So before, you already mentioned that timing seems to be important. You highlighted, for instance, that especially before Christmas, companies are doing promotions. Can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of timing when it comes down to price promotions?
Of course. I mean, let's put the example of this Christmas, yeah? When you see this Christmas, the Black Friday became crazy, in Spain at least. So look at many of the apparel retailers are starting doing promotions as of November, right? When typically it was 7th of January, no before. So you have different retailers. Some of them have the theory that I should start promotions the earlier the better. I know I won't sell many items at regular price, but I will steal all of the spend that many people want to spend just in apparel, in clothes, and instead of going, whatever, to Zara, they will come to me, right? So yes, my margin percentage will be lower, but my volume will be much higher. So at the end, my total profit will be much higher. So that's what we have seen in the last years. Promotions come earlier and earlier in the year. And another thing that I mentioned is what you just said, is within the month, yeah? You will see at the beginning of the month, as people just got their paycheck, you'll have lots of volume promotions. Let's say 4 for 3, 3 for 2, and as the months move and people are starting to get short in cash, you will see more like pure price discounts towards the end, right? Like 30% discount in this, 40% discount, because people cannot afford to do volume promotions, so they will go on the price discount ones.
So before, you mentioned as well that promotions to a large extent could be targeted at gaining customers from the competition. So it seems to me a little bit like a loser's game. Could we actually win, or is everybody losing because everybody engages in price promotions?
Of course, but before, let me tell you that this growth is the toughest to achieve, right? Because you're not talking about your regular consumers that already have a habit. Your new consumers, either new to the category or coming from competitors, you need to change the habit, which is really, really difficult. So it's always easier to grow from existing consumers than from new ones. Having said this, you need to give them an incentive, right, to lower the barrier. Typically, it's a very aggressive price discount. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I was walking down the street, and I passed a Taco Bell, and just in front, someone gave me a flyer. €2 for your nachos. Come and enjoy, right? And I was just right after, in front of the store, in the moment of consumption, and I felt like, okay, €2, this is cheap. They are not making much profit. But at the end, what are they aiming? They give you this. You're with your girlfriend, with your friends. Okay, let's go. It's just €2. Let's enjoy. You go there, give me this, please. Would you like some beers with it? Okay, why not? Would you like a burrito? Okay, let's have a burrito here to share. And at the end, you end up spending like €8 to €10, yeah? and they're making a lot of profit. So the idea of these offers is, again, what I said before, is you need to choose the right offer that does not cannibalize your source of revenue, but that is like a bait for people, yeah? So that at the end, they go, €2 is nothing, and they keep spending money and money, yeah? Either in drinks or in other food. So this is a great example that I wanted to share. Also, when you think about, this is price, this is not as much promotions, but it's pricing as a business strategy. Think about Amazon, what they do with their tablet, right? It's 40, 50 euros. It's 1/10 of the price of an iPad. Why do they do this? Because their main source of revenue is not selling tablets, it's selling content, yeah? So if you don't have the tablet, they cannot sell you content. So of course, they don't make much profit in selling the tablets, but they make all of the profit in selling the content. So this is not a promotion, but a pricing strategy. The same as gas stations, yeah? When you go to fill the tank of your car at the Carrefour gas station, are they making any profit? Probably not, yeah? Because it's typically 10% cheaper than when you go to Repsol or any other company. But the idea is that once you're there, you say, hey, why shouldn't I do the groceries of the entire week here at Carrefour once I'm here? So yes, they're not getting any profit in the gas station, but they're getting a lot of money making the destination, the final destination, Carrefour, yeah?
Fantastic, Alejandro. It was a pleasure having you today. Likewise. Thank you so much.